Hello again, and welcome back to Movie Deputy Reviews, where, if you are not surprised, we are talking about Scream 3. Now, you may be thinking, okay, where's Scream 7? Well, obviously, we're going in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So yes, I have seen 7. Yes, I am basing some of the way I'm doing these reviews purely based in order because of 7. So I'm hoping I'm creating some curiosity there. If you saw the title or you can see the poster, obviously you know the movie that we're talking about as well. I want to show you the podcast. This is one of the podcast image. This is one of the posters I changed a little bit, not hugely, but just enough. So this is the podcast image. So it didn't change a whole lot, just some minor changes if you're noticing some little details there. Feel free to pause it if you wanted to check out a little bit more of that. I want to share with you the trailer before we get into the review that was on moviedeputy.com. Now, why do I keep referring to it like that? It's because for years, Movie Deputy existed as a website where the reviews were all in 300 words or less with no spoilers. Well, you still get the no spoilers, but I don't do the 300 words or less anymore. These would be really, really short episodes if I did 300 words or less. And I'm not quite going to do that. Plus, I couldn't share the trailer with you if I was doing 300 words or less, because there's probably at least that many words in the trailers. I've never actually counted it, though, so I'm not trying to keep track of an exact count on that. But let's jump in with the trailer. If you're curious, yes, all of the Scream movies do have a guilty rating for obvious reasons. So here we go. Let me get over to here. You may be asking yourself, what is going on? Well, I think it's a play on the whole thing with Ghostface. But pay attention because there's some details in this trailer you're not going to want to miss. Rules of a Trilogy. Chapter 1 sets the rules.
Hello. Did you like scary movies?
Chapter 2 bends the rules.
Number 1, the body count is always bigger. Number 2, the death scenes are always much more elaborate.
But in the finale...
What do you know about trilogies?
All I know about movie trilogies is that in the third one, all bets are off.
Hello, Sidney. Welcome to the final act.
Don't panic.
Now, as you see, Scream was initially intended to be a trilogy, which we obviously saw it become a quadrilogy, quintilogy, etc. When numbers get that big, I have to usually look them up a little bit. But, so that's kind of what to expect a little bit. Is it really plays on the whole thing of trying to be a finale for the trilogy. At that point, I think this is initially where they planned on ending the story. The first one came out in 96, the second one in 97, this one came out in 2000. And I really think that's where they were planning on ending this, but there was enough of a demand that they went beyond that. But in Scream 3, bets are off. This one kind of undoes some of what you see in the first two movies. And if you think you had the first two movies figured out, this one will totally turn you on your head, completely upside down. Now, in doing so, it gets a little bit confusing. If you're not paying attention to all the details in all three movies, you may be wondering, like, what just happened? And honestly, you probably would not be alone in thinking that. But I want to share with you the original review that I'd had on moviedeputy.com. Life has come a long way since the Woodsboro murders. The Stab movies have been a success so far, and the filming of Stab 3 has just begun. Sidney has moved on with her life and lives a life of quiet seclusion. With the filming of Stab 3, some of the characters have been recast. As a result, the actors and actresses are turning to the original survivors for inspiration. Only someone decides to take it to the next level, and Ghostface once again rains his terror on those involved. In order to understand what is happening, the local law enforcement calls upon the original survivors for insight into the case. As the details begin to play out, there are details that will surprise even the most sleuthful audience. When those details are revealed, it will prove that no matter how far we run, we can never outrun our past. Who will survive this third installment in this trilogy? And is this the last of Ghostface? The story seems to come full circle, but knowing the story has gone so far, we have to wonder if there won't be more to come. So like I said, it both answers questions and it creates a lot more, and there are just some flaws with that. If you're not a fan of the Scream series, you may be wondering what I'm referring to when I'm saying the Stab movies. Well, this is the first one where I really referenced it in the review. In the Scream universe, these people are living this life with Ghostface and all of this, and their stories have been turned into movies. So it's the movies inside of movies. So basically, Stab is basically Scream, Stab 2, Scream 2, Stab 3, Scream 3. It's basically not quite a parody, but a telling of the story inside the story, and I don't know, it just devolves very quickly with all of that. So like I said, I'm giving this a guilty rating. But score-wise on Scream 3, this probably won't surprise a lot of you. I'm coming in at a 4.75. This one, in the 4 category, it's watchable but forgettable. And honestly, before I sat down to start recording these Scream movies, I had to go back. And I could remember the first one and the second one. I had to go back and watch this one because I couldn't remember enough of the details about it to really talk about what's going on. And so when you have the new actors, or the actors that were in the Stab movies, and then they're being recast, and then they're trying to get back in touch with the survivors, and Sidney wants nothing to do with it. She just wants to be left alone. And unfortunately, that just doesn't quite happen. And how that gets her involved and how that involves basically everybody else it'll leave your head spinning. I'm kind of glad that they went on beyond this one and made some other ones, because ending it here is... the Wes Craven movies have always left you on the edge of your seat. They've always left you with the EBGBs and stuff like that when they were all done. The Scream ones have been doing okay with that so far, but this one just kind of lost its footing, so I'm kind of glad they did at least continue somewhat of the story. Whether or not that's a good or a bad thing, you'll have to stick around to find out. So you want to be sure to click that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you get the latest and the greatest Movie Deputy content. And as always, I will be back with another Scream for you. Bye!